Joining us now to review top stories, some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world, is Arise News analyst, great Malabite, Emmanuel Efeni. Efeni, before you say good morning, this color, what is this color?
Good morning, Ruben.
No, go ahead, Mr. Efeni. Just
go ahead.
Rufa. Go ahead. Good morning.
This color,
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Wait, I'm coming to that.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Victoria. Tundu MK Abiola.
Good morning.
Well, you know, this is another shade of green. But
What's the shade?
hold on. I know she has an exotic name for it.
What's the shade?
I don't like to bother myself about that anymore. I've given up. There's always one name somewhere only Tundu knows. And she will show you from Google.
Tundu, please.
Okay, Tundu, okay.
Bail the Malabite out.
This is O'Donnell. O'Donnell. It's supposed to be O'Donnell. It's supposed to be the color of the waters of the River Nile.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it actually looks nothing like the colors of the waters of the River Nile. But this is what it is. O'Donnell.
At least thanks for linking it to River Nile. I never remember that.
Yeah.
O'Donnell.
That's what it is.
The old Nile.
Yes.
Now let's start the review of today's newspapers with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. Now the lead story. Buhari unveils Enaira as CBN launches instrument to support 300 companies. Yes, president says with digital currency, GDP will rise by $29 billion in 10 years. Nigeria, first country to launch electronic money in Africa. Emefiele, new intervention will jumpstart productive base of economy. Reiterates, Nigeria cannot fritter FX on cheap import currency speculators. Yes, yesterday, finally, the Enaira was unveiled by the President Muhammadu Buhari. And yes, CBN can afford to thump its chest for another milestone. The CBN under the watch of Godwin Emefiele, always coming up with one innovation or the other. Now recall that a number of Nigerians who were also hooked into the cryptocurrency craze before Emefiele put that brake on it, only to come up with the Enaira. Will be very much pleased to see that at least we are also in that electronic POS, electronic cash system also. But people are also talking about the risk. The risk. And somebody will have to convince me to stop using my card and switch to Enaira to do my transaction. What will I gain? What will be the benefit for me? It's a quicker, some say quicker transaction, ease of transferring money. But if you think that even to get Ruben to use some of these cards, and it's still difficult. Now we're taking it to another level. Ruben, you have to brace up for this new technology, this new Enaira. I think the way to get people like Ruben into this is to give them some free EPOS, free Enaira, and force them to use it.
Loaded with cash.
But it's a welcome development. It's a welcome development. And to think that we are the first in Africa and one of the few countries in the world to have this e-money is something that we should cheer. And of course, Godwin Emefiele, the hardworking CBN governor, also used the opportunity to introduce another program to get 100 companies at a time to boost their production, ready to support. When they finish with 100, another 100 will follow. Well, it's a welcome development, I will say. And it tells you that within the CBN, one of the few government organizations that you have well-trained bureaucrats who are actually delivering on their mandates. Now, let's just, before we leave these day newspapers, look at the masthead. Politicians still influencing judges to use courts against democracy. Yes, many politicians, we hope they will not derail this democracy. by using the courts. Despite the warning from the Chief Justice of Nigeria some time ago, when courts of coordinate jurisdiction were just dishing out orders from all parts of the country, some politicians are still, desperate politicians, you will call them, are still bent on using the court to destabilize democracy. And a case in point is the upcoming PDP convention. And we hear some politicians are already in court trying to stop the convention at all costs. We hope the prying eyes of the Chief Justice of Nigeria is wide open for those judges who allow themselves to be used to disrupt democratic process in this country. And I think such ones should be fished out and dealt with accordingly. And also the lawyers who even know that these courts don't have the jurisdiction, yet they will approach these courts and obtain some judgments that now become an albatross on the neck of whoever it is against. Well, we'll continue to speak on this because this democracy must be protected at Arise News. And of course, this day, our editorial policy is based on the tripod of democracy, free enterprise, and social justice. And any matter that affects any of these issues, we take a very serious look at it and take a stand. Now, let's move on to other newspapers. The Guardian newspaper, for the lead story, Enaira goes live as CBN floats new scheme to boost economy. 33 banks join platform. CBN means 500 million transaction on Enaira free for 90 days. Ruben, you can join. It's for free for the first 90 days. Buhari insists on close monitoring, says digital currency will boost GDP by $29 billion. CBN says foreign reserve surpasses $40 billion. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, Enaira can raise our GDP by $29 billion in 10 years, Buhari. Now, just below that, convention, October 31 remains sacrosanct. The PDP is insisting anybody trying to use underhand means to truncate that convention. The PDP is insisting it is sacrosanct. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper, Enaira will grow GDP by 29 billion naira in 10 years. Now, above the masthead, bandits attack Niger mosque, kill 18 worshippers, abduct 18. Another sad story, another day, another sad story of kidnappers and bandits who will insist on calling terrorists, continue the terrorizing of Nigerians, innocent Nigerians, all over the place. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, Anambra Guba. INEC's ad hoc staff resign en masse over IPOB's threat. NSA reads Riot Act, says rogue elements will face justice. Election will hold as scheduled, says Commission. Southeast civil society organizations beg IPOB. Avert emergency rule in Anambra, Sheriff 1 week stay at home. Now, the NSA, the National Security Advisor, yesterday came out reading the Riot Act. And the reports, this lead story that INEC ad hoc staff are resigning en masse because when you give this kind of instruction that, oh, you'll be ruthless to anybody, it doesn't help the situation because many people will rather just sit at home than to be caught in the crossfire between those who are sympathizers of IPOB who want to disrupt the election. But like the civil societies are doing in the Southeast, appealing to IPOB, because if IPOB know what is good for the people, they will not disrupt the election in Anambra State. Because the consequences is not something they will also expect, they will also like. Now, if we just look at the foreign newspapers quickly, Now, the Times of UK. Brace up. Brace for a winter of rising cost, drivers told. Yes, petrol hits record of nearly 143 pence a litre. Motorists will face a winter of rising fuel. Right now, the petrol price is 142.94p in the UK for a litre. And for a typical family car, it will cost about £15 more to fill up than a year ago. But that is not the only news coming out of the UK. Perhaps some good news. The Telegraph, the Daily Telegraph newspaper, pay rise for 5 million public sector workers. Here's the freeze on pay rise as a result of the coronavirus pandemic and all the lockdown that followed will be removed. And Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, will announce that tomorrow in the budget. Ruben Rufai and Tundu.
All right, interesting times for the UK, but they have a lot of problems. The winter, I don't know how they're going to do it, because when you look at it, the shelves are already gone, no replacement. So there's a lot of problem. Rishi Sunak's budget will not help anything, because the budget will be overcrowded. He's trying to complement for a lot. Take, for instance, they're going to pull out 5% VAT fee on energy prices being paid. Ofgen is complaining and all of that. So there are a lot of problems in the UK. I just hope the economy survives this.
I just don't even know what his budget speech is really going to entail now. There have been so many announcements.
There's nothing.
It's looking quite bleak.
The deficit of about 400 billion arising from COVID.
Yeah.
All kinds of issues. But we'll see the details
tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, if any, can you blame any ad hoc staff for
No, not at all.
and saying they will not be part of
If
the
I have
election
my
in
ward or
Anambra?
child in Anambra doing youth service, I will do everything.
Way.
But let's hope that
But
the NSA, National Security Advisor, and other security chiefs will be able to pull it off. And, INEC is saying whatever happens, they will go ahead. But how would they conduct the election without enough, staff on the ground, whether ad hoc or permanent staff? Thank you very much, Emmanuel.